especially at that time. He could come with the uppercuts, and he knew what to do inside. I think Fury might be able to do some of that.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that eliminates some of his power by getting inside? Does he have those short punches? Does he have that short punching power? And does he talked about it too, knocking him out in the second round. He can't do that fighting inside.
Here's what I know about boxing. This is what I know about being in there and fighting. This is what I do. If you get touched more than you're used to getting touched, that does something to you up here. If Tyson Fury is able to get on the inside of Deontay Wilder, which is something he didn't do in the very first fight, and be effective, that's going to do something to Deontay Wilder's mentality and set something up along the lines going on with the fight.
You know what I don't think happens? Fury can't get knocked out
on the inside.
If he's hugging him on the inside, playing on the inside. You know, so again, that's a safer place for him to be, and you know, he doesn't have to win by knockout. The other guys, Wilder's probably going to have to win by knockout.
I agree with that.
You know?
Well, Shawn, what you said about the getting knocked out, with the confidence that Fury has now about the second round, do you really think he has that confidence after going down?
That remains to be seen. I think that is from the opening bell, we'll see if everything he's saying is something he really plans to initiate. Right now, none of us can really fathom it, let alone believe it. So I think that's something that remains to be seen. Does he have the power to do it? I'm really not sure. I don't think so. At the same time, heavyweights, they have a different type of power. They have a different type of punch. And so, Deontay Wilder has said that he has pillows for hands. Mm-hmm. But it's the heavyweight division. Sometimes you never see those punches coming.
I got a question for you. Do you think Fury really believes he's going to take him out in two, or he just wants to put it in his head?
I believe, honestly, my honest answer to that is I believe that Tyson Fury is crazy enough to think that he can do it. Is crazy enough to try it. And he's crazy enough to the point now where he wants to do that.
Gentlemen, where do you guys stand on the importance as far as for Wilder in varying his punches a little bit more? I mean, openly, he loaded up on the right hand in the last fight. Fury was able to see it coming, use some of that evasive movement to get out of the way. And, obviously he ended up setting up the big knockdown with the left hook. Where do you think a punch like that will count?
I don't know if it's really a left hook, but the most important punch in boxing is the one that Wilder should be using more, and that's the jab.
Yep.
And that's the jab, and if he can hold his own in a battle of the jab, something he hasn't done, then he has the advantage.
That makes the fight very interesting.
Understand boxing as you two do. Wilder was really patient in that Ortiz fight. He wasn't looking to win rounds. He just kind of was patient and hung in there and waited for his right punch. Is that a key to victory here in this fight? Or do you see anything like that transparent in this fight?
I don't think that he can wait in quite the same way he waited on Ortiz. Something about Ortiz, I fought you before, man. I know you're going to go down. I'm going to wait. There was a great stillness to him. But again, if you let Tyson Fury in his prime outbox you, I think that's something different than Ortiz at his age outboxing you. Again, the question to me is, can Fury hurt him? Can Fury make him, can Fury earn his respect early on with pain?
I think that to this point in his career, Deontay Wilder has been very spoiled. He's been able to get away without using unbelievable jab. He's been able to get away without body punching and being able to have a variety of offense. And he's been able to just get away with a big heavy right hand. I think this is the fight where he has to, if he hasn't already, he's got to pick that game up. That offensive game has to pick up very, very quickly before he gets into the ring with Tyson Fury.
One exception to that, and always stays with me, I was there the night he won the title against Berminster Vern, and that was the night he didn't have his fastball. The first night, he didn't knock the guy out. And you always wonder what happens to a pure puncher the first night he can't take the guy out. Does he start to choke up and start to question himself? And I'll tell you what, no one ever mentions it, but Wilder stayed within himself and pitched a shutout the whole way through. So he really showed me something. I don't think he's going to outbox Tyson Fury, but don't underestimate his adaptability. The other thing is, remember, this is a guy who started boxing at 19, and in 3 years, He had an Olympic bronze medal. He made up so much ground, probably more ground than anyone in the history of the sport. And all these guys for generations have talked about, can you make a great athlete, a heavyweight champion? And, Too Tall Jones tried it. Wilt Chamberlain talked about it. Dominic Brazil. Okay, and the answer was always no, 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 until Deontay Wilder.
So he can, to your point, that's something he can pick up. He can add those tools to his arsenal pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not standing up here right now telling you that before February 22nd, he's got to learn how to throw a hook off the jab. He's got to learn how to throw a pull counter. He's got to learn how to go jab, body, head. It's impossible for him to do that right now. But what I'm saying is he should have looked back and recognized something in himself, especially with this fight coming up with Tyson Fury, that I need to have more offense and figure out a way to use his offense, his jab especially, more effectively in this fight.
Shawn, is this a little relatable to when you fought Spence? You knew that you were going to have to walk the fight. You were very smart about it in your fight, but does Tyson have to do that? He has to be very smart, but he can also try and walk.
I hadn't thought about it until I heard him say it today. And when he said that, it kind of was like the light bulb comes up over my head. Like, yeah, like you stay out of the range of somebody's power by being on the inside. Of course, you can do it by staying away from the guy, but with a guy like Deontay Wilder, you want to be on the inside. And then the thought comes into play that, okay, he can move his head, he can wheel and deal here, and then he has the ability to dig. We've seen him dig before. It's a little slap, but he does dig and he does go to the body, which in turn you score points. You touch somebody's body and you break them down. So I think a lot like my fight with Errol Spence, it was about doing something that no one else had ever done before. I think that Tyson Fury is on the right track with trying to do that against Deontay Wilder.
So now we know the real cooperation between PBC and Top Rank is Fury studying his fight film.
And Mark, what if there's another draw at this fight coming up February 22nd?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
They're talking about trilogy, another draw.
If there is another draw, everyone will get even richer than they are now.
Thank you. So this new level of resolve we're seeing in Deontay, do you think that could bode more well for him, or he can get overly patient and be behind too far around? I know you've asked that a lot, but what do you really feel coming close to the fight?
You know what? I asked him immediately after his fight with Luis Ortiz, were you worried? Because my team during the fight, we count rounds. We know coming back to the corner, if I won or lost, if I need to pick it up, how to set the pace. And he told me I wasn't worried at all. I knew that the punch was going to come, and when it came, boom, there it is. I don't accept that. I'm even when he gave me the answer, I was like, oh, all right. You got to be a little worried. You got to be a little concerned when the clock starts to tick, and you recognize that I have not won a round in this fight. I don't think he can be as patient as he was against Luis Ortiz.
I got a question for you then. Do you think that he was worried first time against Fury?
Yes, I do.
And that's why he got jumpy.
No, yeah, exactly. He was worried. He got jumpy. He started to rush, and he wasn't he was very uneasy in the ring. I think in turn his punches were too wide. His punches were not direct.
They were anxious.
They were not direct. The very first punch that he knocked him down with, I think in the seventh round, it actually ended up being more of an overhand right, and it was because he was just trying to find Fury. I think this time around he is going to be more patient, but I do think that jab needs to move, and he has to be able to set that right hand up, opposed to just waiting, which is what he did in the fight with Luis Ortiz.
And Tyson told me in the first fight, in that 12th round, it was the moment he thought he was so big and bad that he wasn't worried anymore. And whatever you got, I could take. That's when he got caught.
And that's the same thing.
The moment of arrogance.
It's the same thing that happened to Luis Ortiz. I don't know if you guys watched that fight back, but and it happened in the moment. The 10-second clap comes, and he relaxes. He thinks, I have another one. Boom. And he didn't even have a chance to say, I have another one in the bag. Another one. Boom. And he goes down. When you get relaxed in the ring, it's just something about Deontay Wilder's timing. He's able to catch you sleeping, and when he catches you sleeping, you go to sleep.
It's not just the moment that you step to Deontay, it's the moment where you're thinking about stepping to him, and that's when he gets you. It's that tiny microsecond of
but that's what makes him special.
Decision making.
That's
Boom.
what makes him special.
Shawn, going back to your point about seeing similarities to how you fought Spence, do you think a key factor for Fury in this fight, like for you, could be to turn Wilder, keep him away and set like that? You had a lot of success
I'm
finding.
gonna be honest with you. You know that now we're really getting into the
Technical difference.
we're really getting into the bread and butter of boxing.
Inside
You know, because when you turn fighters that aren't good at using their feet and being able to touch you, then now you take something away from them. And you start to make them anxious. You start to make them feel uneasy in the ring. I think, again, we're talking about Tyson Fury working on the inside. Once you work on the inside, step around opposed to coming right back into that power. When you step around, you're gonna force Deontay Wilder. Now the punches are here. I have to hold this and turn and find you, and it sets everything up.
But he knows how to do that. He has the technique to do that. Fury does.
Deontay Wilder? No, yes.
Fury does.
Yes. Deontay Wilder, again, we haven't seen anyone really get on the inside of Deontay, and we haven't really seen anyone force him to change his level and what he does. He's able to get everybody right here. We haven't had, no one has
Had the ability to
challenged Deontay Wilder to do anything different from what he does.
You mentioned in your fights that your corner counts around,
Yeah,
so you guys know where you're at.
yeah.
Would you guys like to see Would you like to see live scoring for boxing? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm still active. That's my answer to that.
We could argue about it over beer, especially if you're buying.
I had it. I had it.
I tell you what I would like.
Go ahead. Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you what I would like. My ex-father-in-law told me this. And a 12th round should be a 10-8 round. Think about that. So that, no one can do like the old
Whoever
Delaware
wins that
Trinidad
round-
scenario. What do you mean? I thought I had it there. Everyone told me I had it. What? No, you know that in a close fight, the winner of that 12 is going to be the winner. So everyone goes balls to the wall.
The problem with open scoring is it changes the temperature in the ring.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is we had open scoring as the amateurs in the amateur program, and when you were up by 3 points in that last round, you weren't going after a guy. You were making that guy come after you. You were moving. You were milking the clock, and you're doing what you had to do to hold on to that 3-point lead. So I think the same thing will go in the professionals. I think it changes the dynamic of the fight.
It's a funny thing though, because you have open scoring in every other damn sport. And no one cares, like in basketball, if you're going to kill the clock, or in football, if you take a knee.
You know what's going to happen. You know when it's coming.
But the only thing is you got to protect the judges during the fight, because if they do the bogus scoring they sometimes do. Someone's going to house them.
Kind of thinking it another way. It's too long, but I was thinking that would kind of put the judges on front. Now they have to
Yeah, and something. I don't mean to digress here, but that might not be the worst thing in the world. I mean, I covered a fight a couple of weeks ago. We're sitting up there going, how did that even happen? How is it a split decision? And the credibility of the sport is at stake. With every one of these decisions, when you scratch your head, go, yo, how did the guy come up with that?
Shawn, how much does Tyson Fury have to be careful with his power, knowing that he can't take it and get back up, but you fight in Spence, you know that you're going to have to rely on your chin, that if you do get hit, you can take it and come back up to be able to win.
He's crazy. I love that about him in this fight. I feel that he is crazy enough to be confident in anything that he wants to do in this fight going into this fight with Deontay Wilder. The fact that he's crazy leads me to believe that he understands that I'm going to get hit. And no matter what, I got to keep going, and I got to knock this guy out first. So I love it.
Who needs to change their a lot of coaches have it like, hey, you think the same thing's gonna happen again?
Yeah.
So with that said, who really needs to change the game and come out and make their
Honestly, based on the first fight, who needs to change their fighting style and game plan more is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder needs to be more effective through the rounds offensively, because if you give up the same amount of rounds that you gave up last time, but you don't get as many knockdowns, then you get a bad result. That's what's gonna happen.
Sean, do you think that's actually the key for Tyson Fury to win the fight? Because I noticed that Deontay
needs to be
Wilder,
the key.
when he knocks out opponents, he has his legs stretched out so he can get all that power stretching coming from the back. You think Tyson going inside that eliminates those spread feet to get that knockdown?
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that he, even if, at least he said it. Said it means he's at least thinking about it. I think he definitely needs to consider being on the inside of Deontay Wilder, not the entire fight, but just in different points of the fight. See, the thing is, when you're able to change the level of the game, you're able to become unpredictable, and you're able to make that fighter start to think and start to hesitate. And I think if he's able to get Deontay Wilder to do that, he may be going on to something winning this fight.
Because I noticed that Wilder those wide punches from the inside, he usually does not connect with those punches.
That's the thing about this fight with Deontay. If you're close to Deontay, he's gonna let his hands go. But in the first one, we had Tyson Fury moving a lot. We had Tyson Fury using his head, and then he was putting his hands down, doing a lot of this, and it really had Deontay for a lot of the fight. He was being very hesitant, and then he just started swinging for the fences.
Best thing Deontay could do, jab, jab, jab some more. Instead of listening to the taunts, shoot a straight punch down the middle. See where it gets.
But do you think that Deontay Wilder is all set with his skills, that he's actually bring something new to the table and try to beat Tyson?
He can and he should. Yes, he can and he should. It's never too late to improve. I'm trying to improve every fight that I have, every training camp that I have. We're up here right now talking about what Deontay Wilder doesn't do, but we're all saying it's something that he should do. He is more than capable, unbelievable athlete. He's not just a big power punching heavyweight. He's an unbelievable athlete. Played basketball growing up. He's fast, he's quick, and he has that eye. He has that killer instinct, and I think that is definitely going to come into play in this fight.
What would warrant a trilogy?
Tyson Fury wins. Deontay Wilder is going to want revenge, and I think Tyson Fury is crazy enough to give him that rematch. Deontay Wilder wins. Tyson Fury is crazy enough to call him out, and I think if it's exciting enough, they will do it again.
Almost anything warrants a rematch. The only thing that wouldn't warrant a rematch is if it sucks. I actually very much doubt this fight will suck.
Yeah.
You have two guys at the height of their games. And the other factor is we really haven't talked about is when they first started this, Fury was didn't really know what he had. He had just come back from a suicidal depression. He lost 100 pounds. His own dad said, "You're going to be crippled if you take this fight." I don't think he really knew what he had. That night, getting up in the 12th round, let him know what he had, how good he truly was when really tested. The other factor is, we forget about it, Anthony Joshua got beat. And I wasn't really impressed with the way he beat a fat guy in Andy Ruiz. So there's no doubt that the winner on February 22nd is the baddest man. So you have a financial and a reputational motivation for each guy to want it back. And I'm sure they're going to make enough money, they'll run it back.
Sean, if you could fight on the undercard, who would you want to fight?
This ain't about me, Ellie.
There's nobody you want to fight now?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
My list is extremely short. It's Manny Pacquiao and it's Errol Spence. Until I'm told I'm not getting any of those guys, that's all I'm training for.
I'll refrain.
How about Mark Kriegel? Who would you fight on the undercard?
I ain't fighting nobody.
What reporter would you fight? What reporter would you fight?
No fighting in the press box.
Sean, can you tell us about how Terence Crawford did in his last fight? He got dropped, and how do you assess
That boy had my stomach hurt. He had my stomach hurt. And, I don't remember what round it was that he got dropped in, but he had my stomach hurt, and I'm like, boy, you can't lose this fight to this dude. But
Why, you won't fight him?
We'll see. We'll see.
A few more questions,
Two
please.
or three rounds in, I'm saying you need to go southpaw. You need to, turn southpaw and see where that gets you. At least see where it gets you. And I think up until he turned southpaw, he was really having some trouble. He turned southpaw and he figured it out. And it seemed like night and day when he hurt that kid and then put him out. It was night and day.
Can you elaborate on when you said that you can't lose to this type of guy?
A guy that you haven't heard of, you don't know much about. When you're in a close fight, it should be against a guy who's on your level, a guy who is a world
I
champion,
don't know.
former world champion.
Kavaliauskas ain't a bum, and I think that.
No,
one of
he's
the
not a
things-
bum, and
one of
he
the
showed
things-
us a lot. Yeah, he showed us a lot.
But one of the things that it was a great night for him. One of the things Crawford showed you again is how adaptive he is, and also how much heart he got.
But why did it take him so long to turn south?
Oh, yeah, they want to
Bojack.
try something new.
Maybe why did it take him
Bomac.
so long to
Bomac.
show the difference in class as well?
Do you think sometimes it's the level of competition that,
Yes.
you know what, that fighter, I can't build myself up to fight that fighter, but if I'm fighting
For
Shawn
sure.
Porter, I'm raising my game.
For sure.
How many times have we seen that?
Exactly.
How many times have we seen guys raise their game?
I want to go back to Anthony Joshua, what you said about if you're a boxer, what's the mindset of Anthony Joshua thinking outside looking in, these two fighters building up this type
Oh,
of fight? How are you thinking?
I think it sucks for where Anthony Joshua's sitting at right now. He's outside the box.
How many
You know,
belts he
he's,
got?
he's watching these guys do great things and look great, and all he can do is sit there and wonder if he's going to get a fight. Because I'm with Mark. I think if this fight is as great as we think it's going to be, we deserve a trilogy.
It's a funny thing. The guy holding more belts than the other guy
Yeah.
is going to be on the outside looking in. I don't see how you can argue that Joshua would be better than the winner of this fight. I don't see. Maybe you could do that before. And I saw Joshua, who was tentative.
Yeah.
I know he
yeah.
outboxed
Yeah.
him, but he was kind of like, okay,
It was like
I don't want you to hit me.
It was like he changed. He made some adjustments, but then he wasn't confident in those adjustments. Not
wasn't
confident.
confident in his chin.
Yeah, and wasn't confident. He's like, okay, I understand. You want to stay away from the guy. You don't want to get into any type of exchanges, but you still got to beat the guy. And I thought that even though he won the fight, he didn't do anything that was decisive and that let you know I'm here to win this fight and fight hard and win this fight.
And you know from your years at Wild Card, he wasn't fighting an unskilled guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't fighting the best Andy
Yeah.
Ruiz. Andy
Yeah.
Ruiz didn't give himself a chance
was
that
not
night.
the best Andy Ruiz.
Didn't give himself his best chance.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
Joshua's outside the box. He's laughing because he looks like he sure is the bigger attraction. Is he not? Anthony Joshua?
I'm sorry?
You said he's outside the box, but if he's outside the box, he's laughing because it seems like he's the bigger attraction.
I honestly
Bigger
don't
draw.
think he. I honestly don't think he measures up, and I'm just speaking I'm speaking as a boxing fan. He can't talk the way these guys can talk. He's not flashy the way that these guys are flashy. He's not explosive the way that either of these guys are explosive. I mean, we talk about Tyson Fury not having punching power, but the dude, his speed is electric. It makes you smile. It makes you feel good watching him dance and move around the ring the way that he does. Anthony Joshua does not equate to the fight.
I think that the loss, I always say that, a loss is the most overrated thing in boxing. In the case of Anthony Joshua, though, I think on this level, it demystified him. Guys who might have been scared of him before aren't scared of him now. And based on that, the rematch with Ruiz, I'm not sure he truly in his heart believes in himself.
This is the thing about perception, right? The perception was that Anthony Joshua was the guy 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now that's killed down.
Now, speaking to that same point, stylistically and just in general, do you guys believe Joshua would have the upper hand against either fighter, or do you believe both of them would decisively defeat Joshua?
Either of these guys, to me, beats Joshua easy. Wilder knocks him out, and Fury, at the very least, outboxes the hell out of him.
Decisively.
Last question,
And Shawn, speaking to you as a fighter, and on the same subject of the heavyweight division and the way things are now, just speaking on Joshua being the odd man out, do you look at him the same way, and ultimately, do you feel he's hurting his own legacy?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's hurt. It's not his fault that he's hurting his own legacy. I mean, I think that he took a fight not expecting it to go the way that it went, and I think in turn trying to make adjustments and fight a different way to win a fight. I don't think he won a fight in a way that was convincing or entertaining or or satisfying to those watching. And I think that he still has some way to go. I don't know who it is that he has to fight to really prove that he belongs in the ring with Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. I just think we need to see him again, and we need to see a big, strong Anthony Joshua that we've seen in the past.
I feel like he's still got to prove something to himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think that you can look, he walks away with 3 belts, but I don't think you can look at the winner of that fight and say, oh yeah, there goes the baddest man on the planet. Don't. No
you
disrespect,
don't.
that's my opinion.
Good to see you guys.
Hey there, fight fans. Breon Page here with Fanatics View. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more knockouts, subscribe down below at Fanatics View.